Hi, everybody. I wanted to give you a quick rundown on some particulars about the exams in this course. I've opened up an old exam that I used to give in this course, so there's nothing really interesting to be seen here on these specific questions. But I just wanted to give you a general overview of what you can expect and how you can take your exams. Some exam test taking kind of tips. So the exams are timed for 2 hours, regardless of whether it's a proctored exam or a non-proctored exam. So do keep that in mind that there will be a little clock up here counting down your time. Now, some of the questions are essay questions, and some of them are questions just straight from our book, kind of like your homework and your quiz questions are. So they will be interspersed. On this particular test, if you drop this down here, it will actually show you every single question. And what you can see is you can see all the questions, you can see how many points each question is worth, and it'll also be marked with a little E if it's an essay type question. So you can use this to help yourself out depending on your personal preference, how you want to move through the test. Now, some people like to just start from the top and work to the bottom, question 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, no matter what. You can certainly do that. That's one way you can do these. The essays will be kind of interspersed with their particular topics. There's nothing at all, though, against bouncing around while you're taking the test. So if you get an essay question first and you aren't ready to think about it or don't want to do it yet, you can certainly just skip on to the next questions and move through it like that and go back later to complete the ones that you skipped. You can also navigate through this menu. So if you want to go through and look at all of the essays first, perhaps, you can certainly do that. I personally, and again, this says nothing for what you should do, but I do take all of the exams after I create them just to time myself and to make sure that everything looks good. And I find that when I'm taking the exams, how I like to do them is I like to bounce around and do all of the smaller point questions first. A lot of those are just definition questions. They go by faster. So I like to do all of those first, then survey how much time I have remaining and kind of divvy that up between the essay questions. So maybe it takes me 45 minutes, for example, to answer all the smaller questions. Then I would say, okay, I have an hour and 15 minutes left. I have 3 or 4 big essays. I can spend about 20 minutes on each essay if I need to. And that's how I like to divvy it up. So just some ideas about that. Now, if you were to close your exam for any reason, like if you were to hit the X and close out of it, you will not be able to reopen it again. Your time would stop, it would lock you out, and you would have to have a conversation with me about why that test got closed. So you are expected to sit down in a full 2-hour time block and take it. And if something happens, you and I will have to have a conversation about that, because that is sort of something strange or bizarre. It seems like maybe had happened. Now, I will say that when you're using StatCrunch, sometimes every once in a while when you go to use StatCrunch, it will kick you out of your exam. In order to counteract that, what I always recommend is open StatCrunch first. Open it in its own tab and have it kind of there ready to go. Yes, you can still get to it in the little StatCrunch area in the questions when you need it. So I don't know if there's a question on here that needs StatCrunch. But if you open it right here, it should open up, which it did in this case. But if you have it open in an extra tab or window on the side as well, it will help it to not have any sort of issue there kicking you out. So that is something that can happen. Hopefully it won't happen very often. And if it does, please just email me immediately and we'll try to figure that out. But other than that, when you're completely finished with your exam, you will submit your test. And now I didn't answer any questions, so it gives me a little warning. And I've missed everything, as you can see here. I've all red X's. I have no green checks because I didn't answer anything. But whenever you submit yours, you will be able to see this page. You'll see green check marks or red X's. And what I want you to really, really know is that all of the essay questions, you can even see how they're marked differently here. All of the essay questions, even when you answer them, will be marked wrong, or they will be left blank. You will have a score of 0 on all of those. Don't panic. What that means is that when MLP initially pops out your score right here, it's going to be very, very low because it's going to have not counted any of the essays. I will have to go in after you've submitted it. I will read all of your essay questions and I will award credit for each one of those. I'll manually enter in the points that you earn for each one of those. And only then will your score be finalized. After I enter in all your essay points, I will also review all of your other questions and I will compare it to your scratch work, and you can earn credit on those or lose credit on those based on how they match up to your scratch work. And then only after I email you, when I'm completely finalized with grading your test, I will take down your score and I will email you and I will say, okay, now go into MLP and check your score. Now it's official. So please just don't panic when that first score comes out, because it's not what your score is going to be. Almost always scores go way, way up from there. But that is a little bit concerning for students at first, and I totally get that. So hopefully this will help you prepare as you get ready to take your first exam.